Okay, everybody, my name is Jim Wirt. I run the M2M engineering group at ILS Technology. We produce a product we call deviceWISE, which is an M2M application platform. We recently won a great recognition from ABI Research as the top M2M application platform enablement platform. I'm going to start with a little bit of an overview for those who don't know us, those who weren't next door at our workshop today. So deviceWISE is a platform that really looks end-to-end at the different capabilities and requirements of the market, all built around not a wide variety of custom services, but a wide variety of enabling customers to build these applications themselves. So we have gateway technology that goes at the edge. This is a software asset that we resell on many different hardware platforms. We have an API layer, so customers who have modules and they just need to plug them in on the APIs. We have proxy, so if somebody already has millions of devices in the field, but they need to swap out for a new platform, we can consume the existing data that's being generated by the devices they have in the field. Corollary now on the other end, and in there's not always a whole lot of focus on, we have an asset we call our deviceWISE Enterprise Gateway. This is a piece of software that communicates with our hosted service on one end, and on the other end, it can directly interface with enterprise applications, whether it be a database, a message-based system, SAP, MES, you name it. If it's got 3 or 4 letters, we can probably talk to it. And this is all under the mantra of allowing our customers to reuse the tools that they already use today. Most customers, if they haven't implemented M2M yet, they already have a trouble ticket system. They already have an RMA system. They're not looking for a new RMA system for their new M2M devices. They would ideally like to reuse their entire infrastructure across all of their products. So we help them leverage their existing investments. To that end, though, we also do have the ability to deliver to customers various web-based tools, so dashboards or the like, either built from toolkits that we already have or up through the full custom development based on their needs. So while we talk a lot about the enterprise integration, we also can do the web development as needed. And then we also have another area that we focus on, which is the remote product service side. So on the remote product service side, it's all about allowing customers to use their common programming and configuration tools to manage the assets that are down at the edge. So in the case of like the industrial automation market, how many people here know what a PLC is? Okay, that's a good number. So, you don't program a PLC with a web browser. You program it with generally a very expensive piece of software that you acquire from the PLC vendor. So if you have a remote PLC and you're trying to debug a problem, we can enable that PLC software, whether it be from Rockwell or Mitsubishi or Siemens or any of the big guys, to go through the network and allow them to securely remote connect to that PLC on the other end of the pipe to enable very efficient remote service. So this is all part of providing that holistic service. We do all of that with 3 tools. So on the far left, we have our local portal. It's a web-based portal. It's really, you think about this is for the installers. This is for the electrician who barely can turn on a computer. He can turn it on, he can set the network settings, he can go. We then have our management portal. This is kind of the control panel on Windows. You'll see a little bit of this today. This is where customers can log in to go and actually manage the life cycle of their applications, deploy software updates and the like. And then we have our workbench. This is really another one of our very unique attributes. This is our tool that allows the remote programming of the deviceWISE endpoints, whether it be the asset gateway, the proxy, or the enterprise gateway. And we do all this with a keen eye to security. So we operate in many environments around the world that necessitate it. Who uses it? It's always nice to show your customer, a segment of your customer list. So we have a wide variety, whether it be automotive, medical, manufacturing, food service customers. So we have a very good cross-section. So what I'm going to show you today in the quick demo that I have planned is I've got a prop, and it's tangled in the cords. I have one of our gateways actually supplied from CalAmp and the data remote guys, if they're hiding in here somewhere. I have a temperature sensor. I also have a database. I have our enterprise gateway software hosted up in our New York data center. I have our service, and I have a deviceWISE asset gateway. So I'm going to show you very quickly how we can actually do an end-to-end application, gathering data from that sensor and getting it into that database in hopefully about 3.5 minutes. So I'm going to flip over now to do the demo. So step one, if we go to our management portal, I actually created an account just for us. No account is ever good when we see our logo everywhere. So, you know, we have a keen eye when we look at our portal. Most of our customers don't need to look at deviceWISE every day. So we've built in the ability for customers to manage a lot of their own product cycle and what they want the system to look like. So things like customizing the name. So this is the Battle of Platforms. So, you know, very quickly we can enable our customers to go and customize the look and feel of their application based on their needs. And it would have helped if I picked the right picture. So hopefully I'll circle back before it's done. So when we look, I have my two gateways. I have a asset gateway in the field. I have that sitting here on this desk. I have the enterprise gateway running Microsoft SQL Server. How many people here are familiar with SQL and databases? Another good number of hands. So very simple. I got a table here. It's empty. I can go and I can query the records. We have none. So I'm going to go to our workbench. This is our configuration tool. And we see I've got two nodes here. So I'm going to start at that enterprise side. So when I look here, it's very easy. I've got connections to my transport, so I can see here my settings for my database. Very simple. IP address, username, password, what type of database is it? This is not meant to be difficult. This is supposed to be easy M2M. I then create something called a transport map. So if I wanted to insert data into this table, I can do it all by just clicking and building what I want. So I can look here. I can pick from my list of tables that have been defined. Whatever table I pick, you can see the metadata showing in the bottom. So this is all about enumeration. I can pick my operation. What do I want to do? In this case, I'm going to insert. And then like everybody else, we provide accelerators to make life a little easier. So I'm just going to map it. And you see now, this is mapped a set of internal variables to the actual table for what I'm doing. So this is going to be the Battle of the Platforms live demo. So now I've got that created. I can go over. Now I've got the transaction. Now I got to define what's going to actually receive it from our service. So go here. We do something called a remote trigger. So this would be what I'm going to receive. So this will be Battle of the Platforms live trigger. And it's going to receive a temperature. Humidity, and we'll call it a time and a timestamp. So again, this is all about trying to make this very, very easy. So now that I have that, what I want to do with that data, well, I'm going to go call that enterprise transport map that I created. So again, all about picking. So okay, there's my live demo. Here's my data. It's all about just clicking and mapping. So I can click. Temperature. You notice that my names don't exactly line up. That's all key to the system, is being able to handle variances in the data so you can easily map between them. So this will be my live demo trigger. Take that, start it. So now I'm going to flip over. You notice, exact same tool. Now I'm configuring the asset gateway side to the remote side. So this is one of the key things. Learn one tool, configure both ends. Now notice I don't have this enterprise piece. We're now talking about the edge. So what I have is I have a device, and I have the temperature sensor. So we can see here, we enumerate the capabilities of that sensor. So we can see I have the basic data available here. So we can see the temperature in here, 72 degrees. Feels a lot warmer up here right now. So we'll do a new project. Battle of the Platform. Start that. Now we're going to do the corollary side of this. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say, well, what do I want to do? I want to monitor some data at the edge. So it's monitor from that sensor the temperature. I want to know every time the value changes by 0.1 degrees, What interval do I want to pull it at? And now what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to now call the corollary. I'm going to now execute that remote trigger I defined on the enterprise side. So this is the other end of the call. And everything can be enumerated. So I can go to the management portal and enumerate out, there's my Battle of the Platform live trigger. You see that it pulled in all my metadata. So I can now just map my data. So I have my temperature data, and I have my humidity data, and I'll take the timestamp. So now this is my send data trigger. So, you know, what we're about to see here, assuming I actually did this right and it all does what it's advertised to do, is we're about to see that in a period of about 4 minutes, I've now got a cellular connected remote gateway that's had about 10 minutes of work done getting it prepared for this event and sent the data successfully to a database. So we see that when I started that, we happened to get a success. So if I actually flip back over here to my good old database and I check, I've already got data coming in. And if we hold on to this for a minute, I have precious time to waste waiting for the temperature to change, but we will give it a shot. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So, you know, we're getting data flow, 4 minutes. Perfect. So that ends the demo portion, and now it's time to go into a discussion about ROI. So first of all, demo. This was quick. There's a whole lot of other things we can do. We got more transports. We got more gateways. We got more drivers. We got dashboards. There's not enough time to show it to you all inside of a 15-minute presentation. We have developer resources. Anybody out there can go to help.devicewise.com. All of our documentation is available on the web. No NDAs. It's all public. This is about education, not about you know, trying to keep our stuff secret. So I'm going to go through a use case. RTI, Restaurant Technologies Incorporated. These guys monitor deep fryer oil as their main business. So you go to a McDonald's, you wonder why there's oil there when it needs to be. It's RTI in many cases. So step one of their solution, they wanted to save money. They're rolling trucks to go refill this oil. They need to go and optimize how much oil they contain at these different sites, make sure they do just-in-time delivery. So they need to collect the data so that they can now do logistics improvements. So this is phase one of the RTI application. I apologize, I'm starting to speed up as I've seen my time diminishing. Step two, it's time to make some money. So first we're reducing costs, now we're finding new revenue streams. So now that they're getting this data, they're finding out that the franchise owners who own multiple restaurants started wanting visibility to this data. So now it's about taking that same data, putting it into a new application so that the end customers can log in and see how much oil they have in their various tanks and see the alerts and see what's going on. So this is now the next layer, all about making money. And this is an application that's hosted by our end customers, so this is not our application, this is not our dashboard, this is their dashboard they use for their customers. Step three, they needed to stay compliant. So McDonald's corporate is starting to push down standards about about the quality of the oil, making sure it's changed and filtered at the right amounts. So what's happened there is now they want to have better alarming. Better alarming now breeds another layer, and this other layer is now going to be visible to the corporate guys. So the McDonald's guys are going to be able to log in and verify the compliance, all built on top of the same technology platform, just little incremental changes as we go. And then the fourth step is to just keep piling it on. So more and more and more value-added services as we go. So their next step is, let's start collecting detailed information off the deep fryers, because the manufacturers of the deep fryers want all that engineering information so that they can engineer a better generation of machine in the future. So the fourth step is, now that our customer doesn't want to host that themselves, so they're going to be sending all of that data to us, and then we're going to provide a portal to the actual OEMs of the deep fryer. So the first of which is going to be Henny Penny. So Henny Penny will be able to log in, see all of their deep fryers installed across all of McDonald's and Burger King and a number of the fast food restaurants so that they can pull better information off these machines So you start looking at the stacked value here, and any one of them on their own, there's a case for the ROI. All four combined, and it ends up being a slam dunk. So this is all about helping drive business innovation and different options, different models that can potentially work. We offer this as a platform as a service offering, so it makes it very easy for customers to get going very cheaply. So that's all I had today.